Hello guys, this is Acrillies and this is part 2 of my Joystick for Newbies setup guide for newbies like me. Hope you enjoy. Thank you. And this is like if you did use it, how you can let the computer take over. You would assign the key to let the computer take over. If you don't mess with it to begin with, the computer's already doing it. Superchargers. Some planes have superchargers. And this is not the whip. This is like a whichever plane has it, I don't know. I think the P-51 has it. I'm not sure. Anyway, you can toggle it on and off like the whip. Okay, control setup is complete. So now you're in this screen, and let's check out what we did. This is our basic controls. You see everything's here. Okay, now we get into the complex part, the part that I didn't understand when I was a newbie. All right, throttle. Let's click on the throttle button. Let's hit edit. And you can see, if you have auto detect, up here, it automatically detects it. Okay, now there's something I want to show you on this. For right now, skip the rest, hit OK, 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 and resume. Now look right up here at the top left, where it says throttle 55%. Now move your throttle up. Is it moving up? Yes. Is it moving down? Yes. Okay, that's what you want to see. Hit escape. Go back into controls. And let's go back to throttle. Hit edit. Okay. Now you can see, on my particular controller, I had to invert it earlier to do that. If, you can also see on this screen, if you move your controls up, it should go right. If you move it down, it should go left. Now how I'm telling that is the green square, not the red one. The green triangle, I mean. Now my particular one, for some reason, was not doing that. It was doing the opposite. So I had to invert it. If yours is going, if you move up and it goes right, you may not need to invert. So you can hit, leave it on no. It's automatically on no. Okay. So we're going to leave that like that. Now, the relative control you want on no. And if you don't, here's what happens. Let's put it on yes and I'll show you. Okay, let's put it on yes. Hit OK. 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 Resume. Now watch when I give it throttle. Okay. All I'm doing is moving my throttle a little bit, and it's automatically cycling through. I'm not controlling it. The computer's moving it up and down. We do not want that. That is bad, bad, bad. In historical or full reel, you need to be able to control your throttle. See that? I'm just touching it, and it's moving all the way up and down. That is bad, bad, bad. Go back to controls. Go back to throttle. Hit edit. Relative control is no. I repeat, relative control is no. All of this down here is pretty much meaningless. If your throttle is moving too fast or too slow, you want to adjust this. But this right here has no input whatsoever unless you're using relative control. And I've tried it with relative control, trying to get it where I can move it where I want to, adjusting my sensitivity. It just does not work. So you might could do it here with the steps, but either way, why not have full control yourself? Now this just determines how fast or slow. Let's show you. Watch my green. Alright, see how fast that's moving? Now I'm just moving, I can move it fast, but let's move it normally like we would in game. Okay, now let's set this thing all the way up here. See how fast? And I'm moving to the same speed I was before. However, the throttle's moving really fast. Okay, let's put it all the way down here. Okay, see how okay. And now I can't even go to the maximum amount. Now that is very important. You have to be able to go to the maximum amount. So let's get back on here to 1.1. That was my favorite setting, about 1 or 1.1. As long as you can go to maximum amount, and you can move it slowly if you want, you're good. I like 1.1 better. I might even try 1.2. Alright, it's on 1.2. Let's see what it does. Alright. Yeah, there we go. Okay, the problem I ran on 1.2. See that? I can't reach whip. Okay. So we're going to have to go back to 1.1. And the reason was, like I said, the throttle multiplier controls how far the control, what did I do? Okay. Controls how far the controller will move in either direction. So we need to put that back on 1.1. Okay. Now then, this is totally up to you. Hold throttle for whip. This means if you go all the way up to 100, you have to hold it and push pressure on it to make whip take off. You know, I like this on no. I like it where I can stop it at 100 or I can move it another notch forward and it will go to whip. Alright, the roll. This is how you roll your aircraft, right to left. Okay, roll sensitivity. This is very important on a joystick. This is how how touchy your joystick is when you hit right or left. Now in arcade, it doesn't matter because you're going to be totally yanking and janking your aircraft either way, and you're not going to break nothing. In historical and full real, however, now you become sensitive to your aircraft. You roll or pull too hard at a high speed, and you're going to break a wing. I like to start out about halfway there, and then you can kind of see how your aircraft performs. And I will show you right here how to test that without taking off. Okay, let's look down and turn our joystick left to right. Now, see how slow that's moving? That's good for full reel, because you're not yanking your stick. And it doesn't matter how hard I pull it or how fast, it doesn't really speed up much. See that? That's what we want. Now, all of this has to be fine-tuned to how you fly, but that's a good starting point. You can fly it and see if you need to adjust it more. Now we're going to click on that. We're going to hit Edit. Make sure Auto Detect is detected. Now we're going to move our joystick left to right. And see how the green and the red is moving? Okay. Now, if you have an older joystick, you may have a little bit of a loose stick. This is how you adjust the dead zone. If you have a fairly new or a good joystick, just keep it at 0.2 or somewhere in that area. And what that is, watch this right here. See how when I just barely touch my stick and the red is like leaving my green? That's your dead zone. My stick hadn't really responded yet. Now it's responding. And I like that setting because you want it to give it a little bit of delay and so you're not yanking it. See? It's a little bit delay, so it gives the computer time to catch up to your stick. Non-linear, I can't even pronounce it. Linearity. This is how you adjust the some more of the sensitivity. 0.2 is good for just about any aircraft, and on certain aircraft like the Aircobras P-39s and the Spitfires, you may want to lower this a little bit, and because they're a little bit more sensitive to the wobble. This is how you control your wobble. Alright, multiplier. This also, remember, is how far your stick moves over to the right. As long as you're going all the way to the right and left, like that, you don't need to adjust that. Just keep it on 1. Correction. Let's say you're not going over left or right. Then you can correct it here. Usually these are always 2, 1, 0. Sometimes you can adjust this if you want. And like I said, this will have to be adjusted by you in flight. You'll have to try a different setting and see how it goes. Let's put it on 1. Okay. Now let's try it. Okay. Now see what happened? Now my green is keeping up with my yellow, my orange up top. Now there's nothing wrong with that. However, like I said, you're not giving the computer and any time to catch up with your movements, and you're going to pull a lot faster, than harder than you want to, and you're going to go into a flat spin. Let's put it back on 2. See that? The orange is only showing you the what the computer is, interpreting that you want to do. The green is actually what you're doing. So we want to keep it on about 2. We're going to hit OK. All right, our roll is set up. So, and here's another way. If you find out you're stalling a lot, lower this down. The roll sensitivity, the pitch, up and down. We're going to hit edit. The pitch, you want a lot lower sensitivity on this. You do not want to pull your plane up real fast. You will totally mess yourself up. So we're going to hit edit. All right, here's what I have. Pretty much the same settings, right? 2.02, 2, 1, 0. All right, and if you've got it in flight and you find out any of these controls are going backwards, come down here and hit invert. But I'll show you my pitch. See how I'm having a little bit of delay there? Now you're saying, well, delay, that's bad, right? No, delay is good. Delay is good. In historical and full reel, delay is good. You want the computer to know what you're going to do by you pulling on the stick, but it takes a second to realize, not a second, we're talking about microseconds here. A microsecond to say, okay, now let's do it. And that way, if you actually get, you accidentally get excited and you pull hard on the right, you're not pulling as hard as you think you are, so maybe you'll survive it. Okay, y'all, this is our rudder. This is how fast your rudder moves. All right, you want a really low rudder. This is your wobble. You want to be able to be, let's just say I'm flying, I'm aiming at my target, I'm a little bit off to the right. Instead of actually banking to my right, I can just use a little rudder and slide my plane over. If you have it set real high, you're going to slide all the way around and go into a spin. So really low. I found that's a good setting, 0.2. Let's edit it. I'll show you the same thing that you've been seeing. Okay. 0, 2, 2. And like I said, this has no effect unless you have this selected, so don't even worry about that. Multiplier 1, correction 0. Okay. Now let's go down to control sensitivity. If you have a force feedback stick, you can select how much force feedback you have here. This is the overall control sensitivity. It will kind of give you a little extra sensitivity here. So let's just keep it around there. You can move it up and down if you want a little bit, but really let's just get a base setting and leave it. Okay. Since we're not using the mouse, we're going to skip all that. Okay, and it asks you if you want to invert to Y. Now this is for the mouse, so we're not using any of that. The Gunnar aim and control. This is how when you hit F6 and you're looking behind you, this is what controls that. Some people control it with the mouse. Some people control it with the joystick. However you want to set that up, you set that up. Flaps, that's the one I showed you earlier. I use the flap. This is like computer controlled flaps. It automatically does which one's appropriate. Here's your manual control flaps. And if you're flying like a was it a JU-87 has air brakes or some jets, then that's important to you. Full aerodynamics. This is the trim button I told you about. We're going to use a button for trim. This is computer controlled trim. This is reset trimming. Okay, now I already told you about that. Alright, this is where you actually do it on your own, each one individually. This is your brakes. Engine control. The only thing we want here is toggle engine. All of this, unless you're doing it manually, is garbage to you. View control. We already set that up, remember? We got our zoom, we got our sight, our tracking button for our enemy. Um, here's the U button. If you drop a bomb and you want to see if it misses or hits, you assign a button which is default U to actually look and watch the bomb hit the ground. Okay. This right here toggles between cockpit, bomb sight, rear gunner, third person, all your views. External view. This is your third person view. That's usually F3. F2 is usually, these are all default by the computer when you load your game up. You know, F3 is third person cockpit, virtual. That's it. You know, just the blank screen with the no you know no indicators, just the horizon bar, and you know pretty much your gun sight. That's it. The gunner view. This is for a bomber, so you can switch the back view and you know try to shoot people down. This is a bomb sight view for a bomber. You're looking down, and the default view is whatever you have it set up default. Well, we set it up earlier. The mouse look activation. That is default set up as C, and these if you want to, you're flying around, you want to use your mouse look, you can hit this and you hold it down and you'll look around. All right, our view axis. These are pretty much what we set up earlier, but let's go through them. Our up and down was axis 5 on our hat. That's up and down. Now let's look at this. All right, we don't need a minimum maximum value. There's our reset in case we want to go back to center real quick. All right, dead zone. We got a 0.5 here. A hat is a little bit more sensitive, so you don't want to just it to be twitchy. So you can keep it at 0.02. You put it at 0.05. Just do whatever you want to on that. You see here, you see patterns here, right? There's a number 2 there. All right, if it's going backwards, if you're looking right and you're actually looking left, then hit this. Relative control. Okay, relative control is how I showed you on the pan. Like if let me go show you right now. Okay, cancel here. Let's do this. I don't know why it's doing that, but we'll do it like that. All right, we're just gonna hit add. See what happens. Okay, for some reason, let's hit edit again. Okay, it was left and right. I don't know why I did that. Okay. Okay, now this is a snap view. See how I'm letting go and it goes back? Then again, I just hit my trigger. Okay, I have a really large trigger on this thing. Okay. Now let's go back to our view controls. And now this is the same, whatever settings you have here, all these. Okay, before I do that, your sensitivity. Right now it's not mattering because we have relative control off. We're pretty much just snapping our view. A multiplier is 1, 2, and 0.05. Okay, I don't know why it keeps doing that. I hadn't touched nothing. Edit. Okay, dead zone 5. This one has a non-linear, 2. All these are the same. Okay, so whichever way you do this, both of these need to be the same. Okay. All right. Let's say that I don't want it to snap. I want it to, I want to be able to look around like I look around with my head. All right, let's hit edit. We're going to put relative control on. Okay. Now remember, this is what we're going to look at later. It's 80%. All right, go to this one, edit, relative control, on. I don't know why it's doing that, but just hit add. Okay. Okay. I know what it's doing. The space bar thing, I think. Anyway, let's see if it zooms. Now watch. I stop it. I'm still looking where I'm looking. See that? Now I can look anywhere I want to look. Okay. And then let's just say I want to, that's me reloading because I hit my gun. Let's just say now I looked over here and I want to look back real fast. Boom. Now the relative control sensitivity. See how slow I'm looking? I want to be able to look and take my time looking. You can set this to whatever you want. You can make it look so fast you can't see nothing. But you want it to be kind of a slow, but not too slow. So let's look at that. Let's go to one of them. Edit. Let's put the sensitivity to 100%. Okay. Okay. Resume. Now watch. See how fast that is? Now you may like that better. Whatever works for you. Okay. We'll snap it back. That's the space bar that's doing that. Watch this. See? Space bar. Automatically, in case I'm looking left and all of a sudden I say, oh, the ground looks funny. I may be coming up on the ground. Boom. I can, pull myself out of it. Okay. Let's go back to controls. Go back to view. Now remember, we've done all these. Okay. We've got these set up how we want them. We're going to leave it at 100% for now because, this is not my default anyway. Camera smoothness. This is how smooth the camera will, pan while we're doing that. And the camera look speed. I would recommend just put this one about halfway. You can play with it if you want. Leave this one off. And we're not using the mouse, so we can skip that. If you are using the mouse, you can, play with that. Sensitivity and zoom. Alright, this is like you got it zoomed in. You can still pan around, And it's just how fast you move while you're panned around, while in zoom. Okay, Gunnar views and sensitivity. This is in the Gunnar view, which I don't have on this plane, but you hit F6 as a fighter on your tail. It's how fast you can move your reticle around, your aiming reticle. You don't want it to move too fast because you'll be slinging it all over the screen. So you want to have good control over it. About halfway is good on that. Okay. Relative camera movement on hat view, yes. Zoom with head tracking, yes. Okay. That is like, okay, you want to be able to use your zoom while you're looking left to right. You do. So let's keep that on, yeah. Alright, if you want just a look down and a look back key, just a quick key, so you can look back or down, those are your keys to do it. Okay. All of this you can ignore because you've already set it up here. It's just pretty much letting you fine tune anything here. And it may be having something to do with the track IR. I don't know yet because I don't have it. But ignore all of that. Miscellaneous. This is how you can hide your HUD. You can hit the map, the statistics screen. This is that trailing smoke that comes out. Okay, you're about to die. You want to jump out? Leave your aircraft. J. If you want to make a screenshot without the map and the hood and all that right there. That way you get a good picture for just like using it as an icon or something for your Facebook. I mean your YouTube. Okay, this is so you can bring up the menu. Continue. I have no idea what that is. We have a pause button, so you can pause. You're not really pausing in the game. You're just pausing it for you. Here's your chat. These are the radio messages. You hit T, and then you can hit T. A little bar will pop up on your left, and then you can choose these. Attack my target, blah, 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 So, that's what that is. Replays. If you're going to do YouTube replays, I do not recommend using these because they don't actually show like player names and icons. All they show, it looks pretty much like when you die and you're looking at somebody else fighting. That's what it looks like. It's horrible. Do not use this. All right, so now we have this set up. We can let's say you don't want to use full aircraft. Okay, so you're gonna export to file. Okay, let's say you don't want to use full aircraft controls, but you want to keep your same settings. You can automatically go down to any of these and it will not affect what you have set up already. See, all my buttons are the same, no matter which one I go to. The only difference is mouse aim. It doesn't give you control of your sensitivity. This one, it still gives you the instructor, but it allows you to assign, extra controls, like all the sensitivities and all that. Realistic, it just allows you to have more actions. The virtual instructor will not work on this mode. So on these, you see you have your instructor. These you will not. I always keep mine turned off because the instructor is a piece of shit. So, you can be trying to fly low and the instructor keeps trying to, give you flaps and throttle, all kind of shit you don't want. So I would recommend we turn his ass off on both of these modes. Now see this? That instructor only lets you control turning him off there. That one lets you control him off here. And that one does not have his ass. So let's show you what it looks like in flight with the setup we have now. Well, we have saved it right here. And if you made a mistake or you want to adjust your sensitivity and you don't like it, you forgot what you had it on, go right here and load it. So we're going to hit OK. Ignore all this. This is telling you the engine controls we did not set up. We don't give a shit. So let's go. Because we're not going to use them. Okay. The trim. Let's show you what happens. The reason we set trim on full real battle. Now historical, it doesn't matter. Now when I actually give this thing some throttle, it's going to start pulling left because the propeller's thrust or torque, I guess it's called, is making it do that. So I'm going to hit trim and now I don't have to fight it as much. Well, this one doesn't have it. This one only has axis control, or maybe let's see what it's called. Anyway, I've taken off. Okay, if I let go of the stick, my aircraft pitches down and left. So let's get into a level flight and we'll hit trim. Now I trimmed my elevator, so now my aircraft's still going to pitch left, but it will not pitch down anymore. See how it's maintaining its altitude? It will not pitch down as much. And that, my friends, is how you set up your joystick. And we'll look at our controls here. Everything looks good. We're not actually going to, engage in combat. Well, only combat we have is a ground target. Let's look at our roll. Okay, that's a good roll for me. Not too fast. We'll roll left. You can also use rudder and pull back a little on the stick to make it, roll faster or forward, Now we have our joystick set up. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope I put it into a an easier way to understand it for you. I am not a experienced player. I'll show you. Return to hangar. I mean, I guess I'm an experienced player, but I'm still a noob. I don't have jets. My highest level is 10. I really want to make, videos for people who have not got up, into the higher ranks yet, and they really don't understand things. I'll tell you a funny story. When I first started, I painted my planes, and all I knew how to do was put icons on them. I didn't know how to flip them, how to, make the whole plane red, and I'm going to do a video on that later too. And nobody told me. I didn't watch the videos, So I kind of want to make videos for people who, who aren't, getting 20 kills a game, and just kind of want to, learn how to do this stuff. You just want to fly full real battles or historical with a joystick, and you look at that configuration, and you're like, oh my God, what the fuck is that? you know, and there's no, you can search the forums forever, and you'll find out, information on these, but nobody explains them. You know, not in ways you can understand. Unless you're you're a pilot, maybe you might understand it. But I mean, I watched a lot of videos and I was like, huh? So I hope I helped you and I hope you enjoyed it. This is Acrillies. If you like, hit like and subscribe, and I hope to see you soon. Okay, guys, I hope you like this. Please subscribe to my channel. Thanks.